Kickstarter has helped product creators raise over $7.6 billion. Clearly, it's pretty good at getting people funding for their new product ideas. But contrary to popular belief, you can't just throw your campaign up there and expect the money to start rolling in. Instead, there's a very specific playbook to have a successful Kickstarter campaign that I've seen work time and time again. How do I know this? Well, if you don't know me, I'm Mark Pecota, the CEO of LaunchBoom, where we've helped over 1,000 creators turn their product ideas into real businesses using the power of crowdfunding. So, there are 7 key milestones you must hit to have a successful Kickstarter launch. I call them the product idea to crowdfunded framework, and if you skip any of them, your chances of Kickstarter success drop dramatically. So, I recommend you watch this video all the way through, and that way, by the end, you'll know the exact steps you must take to have a successful Kickstarter. All right, you ready? Let's start with the first milestone, product positioning. Step 1, my entrepreneurial friends, is all about product positioning. This is where you tell your product story, but it can't just be any story. You're crafting it to be like a New York Times bestseller. Simply put, your product story must tell how it solves a problem for people who have that problem. Take the author clock, for example. We had amazing success on Kickstarter with this campaign, in large part because of how we positioned it. You see, it's not just a clock, it's a clock that narrates the time using quotes for every minute of the day. And it's not for everyone. It was specifically created for bookworms and storytellers who want to turn time-telling into a whimsical event, just like the stories they love. And that's a story that over 8,000 backers wanted to read. A helpful way to think about product positioning is by using the consumer-based brand equity, or CBBE, framework. It's got 4 levels that will help anyone write a great product story. Starting at the base, we've got salience. This is where you answer the big question, what are you? But here's the key. You've got to keep it simple. What your product is and how it solves a problem should be crystal clear. It's like when someone asks what you do for a living, you wouldn't say, I dabble in a multifaceted array of ventures. No one knows what that means. Instead, you'd say something like, I'm an engineer, I'm an accountant, or I have a business that sells products online. When it comes to your product, you want to use language people understand. So keep it simple and don't overthink this part. Moving up to level 2, we're talking performance and imagery. This is where you show off what makes your product truly special. Let's start with performance. Performance is all about what your product does way better than the competition. Does it last 10 times longer? Is it 50% the price? Does it solve the problem in a completely new way? Don't hold back. This is one of the few times in life where it's okay to brag. Next, we have imagery. This is like the setting where your product story takes place. Where will people use your product? Who will be using your product? How will they use your product? Paint that picture so your target audience can clearly see themselves using it. Level 3 is about judgments and feelings. This is where people are asking, how good are you really? Starting with judgments, you want to think about the doubts people will have about your product and then get in front of those doubts. For example, for neck hammock, we knew people would have doubts about the effectiveness of such a simple device. So we leaned into the science behind cervical traction and the fact that it was created by a doctor and a licensed physical therapist. Now onto feelings. This isn't some kumbaya stuff I'm talking about here. Instead, this is about identifying the emotions you want people to feel when experiencing your product. Are you going for fun and youthfulness or serious and professional? The feelings you choose will lead you to use different words and images when telling your product story. And at the peak of the pyramid, resonance. This is the what about you and me moment. It's where loyalty lives and where connections are cemented. You want customers to see your brand as a kindred spirit with a shared mission and values. For example, one of the campaigns we helped launch recently was The Crooked Moon. It was created by 7 best friends who love Dungeons and Dragons. Including their story in the product positioning created connection or resonance between their customers and themselves. This is one of the reasons why they went on to raise over $4 million and become the most funded 5th edition campaign ever on Kickstarter. Use this CBBE framework to position your product in the hearts and minds of your target audience. Once you do this right, you'll have an incredibly strong foundation to build the rest of your Kickstarter launch on top of. Now on to step 2, product imagery. Because if a picture is worth 1,000 words, then a good product image is worth 1,000 backers. Good visuals translate to instant appeal, and there are 2 main types of product imagery you can use to get there. The first are photorealistic renderings, and the second are photography. So first up, let's talk about the renderings. These are like the magic of Photoshop for your product. Renderings allow precise control over product appearance, materials, lighting, and environment. These can be a lifesaver if your prototype isn't ready yet. All you have to do is find a 3D render artist on a site like Upwork, and you can start your marketing while finalizing the physical product. An important note though, photorealistic renderings are not allowed on Kickstarter, but they can still be very useful in your marketing during the pre-launch. Next, we're talking about the real deal, product photography. You want to get 3 types of product photos: studio photos, location photos, and action photos of your product. Studio photos are like the glamour shots of your product. Throw your product on a white backdrop and highlight every angle and feature. To get your product in all of its glory, it might be best to hire a professional photographer for this part. For location photos, showcase the product being used in all those locations you thought about during the imagery section of the CBBE framework. Let's see how we did it for our campaign, the Top Shelf Camera Bag. We showed off the bag in locations like the wilderness, a busy city, and while working. This way backers can visualize how they would use it. Now for action shots. You'll want to use these to showcase product benefits better shown through motion or interaction. Focus on one specific action you're trying to show and capture that in a photo. Here's how our campaign, Tandem Shower, showed the action of a couple taking a shower together. But action shots aren't limited to photos. They can be video too, depending on which best paints the picture of your product solving your specific problem. Here's how the LaunchBoom campaign for the pepper cannon showed the action of grinding a bunch of pepper quickly through video. Moving on to step 3, building a reservation funnel. What in the world is a reservation funnel, you might ask? Well, a reservation funnel is a way to collect email addresses and, more importantly, $1 reservation deposits during the pre-launch from people who want to buy your product once you actually launch. We call those people who put down at least a $1 deposit VIPs. Here's why this is so important. Without the $1 reservation, it's virtually impossible to know how likely it is that someone on your email list will buy your product when you launch on Kickstarter. Adding a special VIP offer, like an exclusive add-on or guaranteed discount that gets people to put down a small deposit, lets you know who's actually interested in buying. Now, the steps in the reservation funnel are simple. I'll show you how we did it for our campaign Botany, who raised over $1 million on Kickstarter. First, create a landing page using the product positioning and product imagery you created in steps 1 and 2. The goal here is for someone to give you their email address. Next, show an exclusive VIP offer in exchange for a $1 reservation deposit. Botany gave an exclusive add-on called Brilliant Blue Botanicals, but it doesn't stop there. Once they check out, lead them to a thank you page where they are invited to join an exclusive VIP community on Facebook. You might be thinking, is getting the $1 deposit really worth it? And the short answer is yes, and the data backs it up. We found that on average, someone that puts down a $1 deposit is 30 times more likely to buy than someone that only gives their email address. That's a huge difference. And not having enough VIPs can be the difference between failure and success for your Kickstarter. Because here's the thing, this pre-launch email list you'll build with the reservation funnel is going to allow you to hit your Kickstarter funding goal on the very first day. Yes, you heard that right. Botany, for example, used their pre-launch email list to blow past their $5,000 Kickstarter goal, raising $105,000 in the first 24 hours. Now, a quick tip, the reservation funnel I showed you from Botany was created using LaunchKit. That's the software we built at LaunchBoom that powers all of our launches. If you want to learn more about LaunchKit, I've included a link somewhere on this video and below in the description. All right, let's move on to step 4. Now that you have your reservation funnel built, you need to tell people about it. By far, the best way to do that is with Facebook and Instagram ads, aka Meta. Creating a good ad really boils down to getting 2 things right. First thing, you need to target the right audience on Facebook. If you didn't know this, an audience on Facebook is really just a collection of interests. And like it or not, Facebook knows a lot about what people are interested in. A framework you can use to brainstorm interests is called the Dream 20. Here's how it works. Imagine, just for a second, close your eyes even, tomorrow 20 brands, organizations, or communities are going to promote your product to their audience. Which 20 would you choose? Now you have 20 different interests to start building your Facebook audiences from. Second thing you'll need is to create a good ad, which is really made up of copy and imagery. Imagery, whether that be a photo or video, is what's going to capture people's attention first. That's why you want to create something that stops people from scrolling their feed to pay attention to your product. We found that studio shots, like the ones you got during step 2, can perform really well, like these ads did for our campaign for Nitro Press. For video, you can try fast cut product walkthroughs like you can see here with our campaign for Tidy Board version 2. You'll want to systematically test different ads and audiences until you find the combinations that get you the lowest cost per $1 reservation. With your ads, you want to highlight the problem people might have, present your product as the solution, and always end with a call to action to direct viewers straight to your reservation funnel. By the way, guys, if you want to go even deeper into everything I'm teaching in this video, you should check out my book, Crowdfunded. The book will teach you how to bring your product idea to life step by step. It's actually the best-selling book on crowdfunding in the world with 4.7 out of 5 stars from 236 reviews, and I just released the new edition in August of 2023, and both the CEO of Kickstarter and CEO of Indiegogo endorsed it. Anyways, you can get it on Kindle, print, or even audiobook that I recorded myself. So I'll leave a link for you to check it out in the corner of this video and in the description below. Anyway, on to step 5, your campaign page. This is your Broadway show. Everyone's gonna see it, so you need to make sure it wows people with captivating visuals and persuasive copy. Think less instruction manual and more Shakespeare of Kickstarter pages, because again, you're here to tell your product story that you came up with in step 1. Here's how we did it for Giver's Frontier Mittens campaign. You can see how we weaved in powerful copy and imagery throughout the page to ultimately tell the story of why, if you are in their target market, you should buy this product right now. If you do this part right, you'll have a lot of people wanting to hit that back this project button. Next up, your campaign video. If your product was a movie, your campaign video would be the trailer. But don't worry, even if you're not Spielberg, you can still make a blockbuster hit. Whether you're on a budget or going all out, your video needs to be concise. No time for a Lord of the Rings 3-hour special here. Instead, aim for 3 minutes max. That's all you really need to explain your product, show off those features, their benefits, and end with a powerful call to action. Quality does matter, but you don't need to have a Hollywood budget to create something good. An iPhone can do the trick. Just remember to shoot horizontally, and I'd recommend investing in good audio. Your campaign video is the first thing people will see on your Kickstarter page, so make it count. And now the moment we've all been waiting for, launch day. The day you finally hit that big launch button, email your community of raving fans and watch as the world becomes as obsessed with your product as you are. But before you go live, double check everything like your campaign duration and your funding goal, because once it's live, those are set in stone. After that, email your pre-launch email list you built during steps 3 and 4. Remember, your pre-launch email list is like your secret weapon. You should be able to hit your funding goal on day 1 just from your email list alone. We call this having a LaunchBoom, by the way. And once you hit your funding goal quickly, you'll shoot up in the rankings on Kickstarter. With over 22 million backers in their community, getting high up in the rankings can drive a lot more sales to your campaign. How much more exactly, you might ask? Well, campaigns that follow the system I just showed you in this video typically see between 20 to 30% of their funding come from Kickstarter's community. That's a huge amount of funding that you don't have to pay for. The rest of your campaign should be pretty simple now that you've already hit your funding goal on the very first day. Keep momentum going with Facebook ads. Communicate with your backers quickly and transparently. And when your campaign ends, you can take those funds to make and deliver your product to hundreds, if not thousands, of happy backers. And there you have it, the 7 key milestones to have a successful Kickstarter campaign. As you probably noticed, 6 of the 7 milestones take place before you launch, which shows just how important getting the pre-launch is to the success of your campaign. And now that you understand that, I hope you take what you learned in this video and finally bring your product idea to life. Lastly, if launching your product is a priority and you're serious about investing time, money, and energy into making it a success, my team and I would love to chat. Just click the link on this video or in the description below. Fill out a few questions and I'll get you connected to the right expert on my team. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you learned something in this video, I'd really appreciate it if you gave the video a big old like. And if you want more stuff like this, subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all next week.